Oh, that's the good stuff. She seems to be pretty chilled out right now because all these bees here aren't trying to kill her. Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. Today is September 16th, 2025. It's 87.6 degrees here in central Oklahoma. And it's in the evening. I'm shooting this after work. And so I got some things going on here. Some kind of weird I want to show you on two hives. But before I get into that, I want to give you kind of an update of what's going on here in the apiary. So through my oxalic acid treatments, and then later on, a couple weeks later after I finished all of those, so I did 4 treatments by 7 days apart. And I know they say do it 5 days apart. I just can't work that into my schedule, so I hit them on the weekends. So they got 4 good oxalic acid treatments. So during that, I think I found 4 hives, maybe 5 that had failed. 2 weeks after that, I went through and I started my queen right checks, going through every hive looking for brood, right? Getting ready for winter, and I found more. So what I find is it'll either be like a really weak hive that's queenless and not quite gone laying worker yet, or I'll find a hive that's totally failed and there's not many bees at all left in it. So I found a variation of those. I'm catching them before the wax moths get in there and destroy them. So luckily I've been taking care of them that way. So I've lost a total of 10 hives in this yard. My north yard's fine. The 3 there, no impact whatsoever. Here I've lost 10 of 40, so 25% loss. So that's weird. What's going on with that? So I'm going to do some mite wash samples to see maybe if I might have a high mite load, but I don't think I do. I treated good with the oxalic acid, but you never know, so let's check and be sure. I think I might have just some failing queen issues, and I'm kind of relating that back to the very wet spring we had when queens should be mating. So I need to look at my notes and see of these hives that failed, were they this year's queen or were they prior year? So I didn't have a whole lot of prior year older queens in my yard. I requeened a lot this year. So yeah, heavy losses. So what am I going to do today? I've got a weird thing going on. So I had one of my failed hives, number 20. I had taken that hive down. I moved the boxes onto other hives so they could build up into those and protect the comb. So all that was sitting there was a bottom board, an inner cover, and the telescoping lid. Well, Sunday I came by here and just walking by, I wasn't intending to get into the bees. I was going to take it easy. And I saw a bunch of bees in that Hive 20 location flying around and kind of bearded up on the entrance of where just that lid was sitting, you know, because there was no deep box, no frames, nothing. And I got to looking around, and so I lifted up the lid, and there's a lot of bees in there. And I saw a little ball where they were killing a queen. I thought, well, that's odd. So I thought, I might be able to catch a queen and be able to use her, because one of my other failing hives is number 14 over here, and it's gone laying worker. So I thought maybe I could get this queen in there and maybe stop that. So I ran my finger across that ball and I saw the queen. She took off and went flying. I was like, well, crap, there goes that. And so anyway, I messed around and she showed back up, and there they were balled up again on the outside of the hive. So I got that into a queen clip. I moved away from the hive and I started brushing the bees out. I had it opened about 1/3 of the way, brushing them off. And all of a sudden she broke loose and poof, there she went again. So she flew away the second time. So I'm like, oh great, that's got to be it. So I went back to the hive location number 20 where all these bees are congregated, and I put a deep box on there with old comb. Just put it on there thinking, well, maybe there's a queen in that, because I didn't see one, and they'll go up in there. And so I set that there. I went up to the apartment, mixed me some syrup, heavier syrup, 1 for 1 now. And I came back down and I started pulling frames out of that number 20. And I saw down in there a ball of bees where they were killing a queen. So I'm like, dang, So I caught that queen in the ball again. I was very careful. One bee at a time, I was kicking them out through the little slats on the side. Finally, I got down to, I could see that queen in there. So I got that queen and isolated. I took her to number 19. I put her on one of those queen isolation cages and shoved it into the comb and put it in number 20. That was Sunday, today's Tuesday. So I want to see if that queen's in there, if they didn't kill her, because a laying worker hive thinks they're queen right, and they might kill that queen. We'll see. And I want to get into the hive 20 and see, are they queen right too, and they're just killing that other queen? So she does look like a virgin, but she's pretty large. She's a good size for a virgin queen. So is there a mated queen in that number 20? So I'm going to go through that, and then I'm going to go through and check this virgin queen and see if they killed her or not. And we'll just go from there. Let's go see what we find out. Okay, real quick before we get down there and check out the murder swarm and see what's going on in there, I wanted to show you what's going on here. Quick update. So you probably saw Mike Berry's video where he was rendering all of his wax. Well, I was doing it at the exact same time. I didn't shoot a video, but I want to show you how I did it, and I want to show you the wax that I wound up with and what it looks like. So I use this big turkey baster here, and I'll get the camera over here and show you my equipment and how I do it real quick. So I use this roaster oven, turkey baster, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, I use that. So all that wax from my cappings that was in that big capping tank all went in here. I had to really pack it down, and it was standing up, you know, probably that high above the top, just enough to get the lid on. I had about 2 inches of water in here, and I put it on like just past 150 there, and put the lid on it and let it sit overnight. And I come out here the next day, and I use a little hand strainer like this, and after it's all melted, and I go through it and just get out all the junk out of it, and I shook it off into this bucket, and I probably did you know, 5 or 6 passes. You can see some of the junk in there that I knocked out of it. So then after that, I had my big chunk of wax. So I'll put a picture in here so you can see what I got out of here. After I let it cool and solidify, I scraped the bottom of that off, and I cleaned this out so I get all the junk off of the bottom of this. I put the wax back in here the second time. I melted it without the water in it, and it was all in this container here. I took it over to a bucket, and I use these. These are filters for cooking oil. So if you like deep fry and use a lot of oil, fry fish, you dump your oil through this back into the container, and gets out all the fish chunks that you don't want in your oil. So it works good for wax too. So I ran that through here on, and this is the like the colander holder thing for these filters. I'll put a link below to these if you want to check it out and get them yourself. It's pretty economical, and the wax flows through this really good. I did not have to heat it or anything. I had my heat gun on the ready, but this is exactly how it looked when I was done. It all went through all by itself, and I didn't have to do anything else. So I did that, obviously not into this bucket, but this bucket right here. Oh, and another thing, I bought some new buckets because I wanted some clean buckets to do wax, and I just wanted cheapo buckets. I didn't want, you know, buckets like I do my honey. And I got these Atwood's buckets, and I looked on the bottom, and these are 90 mil buckets, the same as my honey buckets, I believe. I'm going to double check. So if you have Atwood's by yourself and you want some heavy duty buckets that are food grade, these are it. So I thought that was neat, and they're like under $4 a piece, 3 something a piece. So here's my wax. So I put about 2 inches of water in here before I ran this in here. So let's go outside, and because there's going to be water, and see if I can get this out and show you what it looks like. There you can see some of the water coming out there now. Okay, here's our bucket, and got a little bit of water coming out. So I'm going to try it right here. I can see space around Yeah, it's free, so maybe it'll just pop right out. There it goes. Clunk. All right. Oh, little bitty things of wax from when it was going into the water before it formed its big wafer. I guess these solidified before it combined with the big part. So we'll put that back in here and we'll melt that again later with something else. Yeah, that turned out nice. Nice and thick. So that's probably that's probably 3 inches thick. Oh, that's the good stuff. Yeah, so I don't know how much that weighs, but I'll weigh it later. I'll let you know. I might put it down below here. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that real quick before we get into the murder swarm and check them out. Let's get over there and continue the video. Okay, here's Hive 20 where the swarm was. There's bees coming and going here. So I've seen a few coming in. I'm not seeing pollen, but I saw a few bees coming in there. Let's get in there and see what we find. I'm betting I find a queenless hive. Why they're trying to kill that other queen, I have no idea. So we'll call this the murder swarm. And I left my smoker lighter, the propane tank torch thing, at the north yard. At least it's not in my wagon. I can't find it. So I don't think I'll need smoke. If I do, we're in trouble. Yeah, so look how many bees are in there. Not bad. I've seen weaker swarms I've tried to save. Most of the bees are over here, so I'm going to start on this side, get this frame out right here on the end. You know, I could run and get that Aphosolus smoker. So just random bees. And one thing I noticed when I was going through this before, after they'd been in here for about an hour or two, there was already a little bit of nectar they were putting into the frames. So that was the nectar that swarm was carrying with it, I believe. I mean, they didn't go forage all that quick. There's some old queen cups. They're kind of gathered around those. That's odd. It's empty. So I'm anticipating if there is a queen, it's not going to be marked. So got to really pay close attention. Yeah, here's some drops of nectar right here. Empty queen cup. So if there's a queen, I'm thinking it's going to be over here where the majority of the bees are. So these are empty frames, nothing in them whatsoever. So I brought some syrup with me, so if they're queen right, I'll start feeding them. All these bees on these outside frames are just kind of random, running around. There's no organization to what they're doing. At least it doesn't seem that way to me. Boy, this frame here, or these frames I've got in here, came from a hive that was superseding at one point all these queen cups on here. Yeah, I'm still not seeing any concentration of anything where these bees have a plan. I got a plan for that hive beetle right there. Boy, that's a tough one. There, I got it. So I want to see a concentration of bees on a frame that looks like, you know, they got it together, they got a plan. These are just all random bees doing random things. So this is a food frame that I gave them that had some honey on it. Bee bread. Still, it's just randomness. They're just random all over here. They're not like cleaning cells, making a place for a queen to lay. Well, last frame. There's a few bees down in there on the bottom board, but yeah, so there's no organization to this. It's just random bees doing random things. I think it's queenless. So why would a swarm with their only hope to survive, they were killing it? So that queen was foreign to them. So maybe she just showed up from another mini swarm or something, and the dominant swarm bees didn't care for her pheromone. Yeah, I'm not going any farther. I've seen enough. We'll check it again in a few more days, see how they're doing. They don't need fed, but they could go laying worker at some point. Let's get over to Hive 14 and see if that queen survived over there. So here's 14. It's a single now. I reduced it down. And actually the top of this double deep is the one that's over there on number 20. I had taken it up to the barn and set it out in the sun so the wax moths wouldn't mess with it. So I reduced it down. It was pretty weak. And there's multiple eggs in cells, and there's queen cups in here that has like a dozen eggs in it. The 3 amigo beetles got El Hombre'd. Okay, so my queen cage is right there. See where those frames are spaced farther apart? Right there it is. You can see the white. So if I can get this straightened out, I can combine it with that queenless hive we were just in. Give her their queen back that they didn't like to save their sorry butts. So I'm going to come in from this direction like I did that other one. Thank goodness for weak hives when you don't have a smoker. So this had some kind of dried out brood in here too. Yeah, see those cells? They have like just dead larvae in them for whatever reason. Some of these are younger in here. It's too dark in there to see, but there's some younger larvae that look okay. But on other frames, I've got the I call it the bullet brood because it looks like the end of a 22 bullet sticking up. Okay, here's, so my queen was on this. Is she in there? I don't see her. There's no way she could have got out unless she went through the slats. There's some bees in there. It may just be too wide. Too wide of slats. Oh wait, I see her back right there. That's her wings sticking up right there. That's her right there at the top, middle. There's a bee feeding her, grooming her. Okay, so because she was such a flighty thing before, I'm gonna put that frame down in there and pull that cage off while that's down in there and release her like that, and hopefully she doesn't fly off. I'd like to get a close-up of her with the camera, but I'm afraid she will fly. She seems to be pretty chilled out right now because all these bees here aren't trying to kill her. And there she is. I think she's dead. She is dead. Gosh. Well, I wonder if she got stung by that other hive trying to kill her. But she seemed okay when I put her in there. So now we got 2 queenless hives. The murder swarm and the murder victim. Let's take a look at these last 3 frames and see, you know, what it looks like. So this needs combined on top of a good queen right single, which I don't think I have any. They're all doubles now. Some of these queen cups, like I said, had multiple eggs in them. Yeah, they didn't develop though. Yeah, see little white specks down in there? Those are all eggs. And there's different ages of larvae in here. So these will be laying worker. And it's like they're not feeding it, they're not taking care of it. They're just letting it die. I guess they're just too weak. There's a nice pollen band and some nectar. Well, c'est la vie. I can't remember if I counted this one as one of my failed ones or not. If not, this will be number 11 failed. Okay, so good news. I do have a single around the corner. It's like number 34, I think is the hive number. So I brought me some of this packing paper filler. I'm out of newspaper, and I'll use this and do a combine down there. And so the sun's setting, it's getting late, so most of the field force is going to be in here, so I'll have them captured. So I'll just grab this whole box like this. In fact, I might pull my little trailer down here so I don't have to carry this heavy thing. Yeah, and get it over there and get it combined. So let's get started on that before it gets dark. Whew, that's heavier than I thought it was. Probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. All right. So I went through this. It's queen right. There's a nice 2025 queen in here, marked blue. It's really strong. There's a lot of nice, good-looking brood in here. She's a nice-looking queen. So in this general location, this was all nukes right in here. So all these are hives that were built up from nukes and new queens. Really should have a smoker lit at this point. So this is a packing paper that you get with an Amazon package. So I want to cut a few holes in here, because this paper here's a little thicker than newspaper. I picked up 2 of these aluminum stands from Harbor Freight. They're Franklin brand, and they're on sale Labor Day weekend. I think they're $54, something like that. So I've got this top pulled back this direction towards me. So these bees are locked in the top. There's not a whole lot on this bottom board actually. 1 wax moth, a couple hive beetles. Actually there's maybe 20 bees on here. I'm just gonna shake it. They'll find their way into this hive or some other hive. Let me in, please. I'm homeless. I'll just take this and put it back in number 14 spot for next spring. Man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm hot, tired, and hungry. I need to go up there and get some Mama's goulash she made last night. That's good stuff. All right, so the murdered queen hive came from, 14 over here. They'll be through that paper in a couple days and start acclimating to each other. There's a lot of food in this top hive. So with this fall flow, goldenrod pollen coming in, they'll get up in there. That queen might even, I bet she comes up and starts laying in the top because they're pretty packed out in the bottom there. I probably reduced that hive because there was a lot of undrawn comb up in the top that just didn't get drawn out through the summer when I was feeding. So this will boost them up, give them some comb to build up into, and they can strengthen up for winter. And I'll come back and check on this. So I need to put my reminder here. Come back and I might start feeding this just a little bit too. So hey folks, I'm like about 400 and or actually 3 to 400 away from hitting my 14,000 goal for 2025. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up if you would. Helps build my video up in the YouTube search algorithm so I get more views, and helps my channel grow. I appreciate that. And be sure and come back and check me out when we go through this and check it out and see how it's going. And I'll be doing some mite washes in the future and trying to get a baseline samples of what's going on in the yard here. See if any way I could rule out possible mite issues. So again, that's it. Please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe if you would, and I'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care. Well, here's another fun thing I discovered coming down here to the barn. It's going to show you my wax project and where it's at. And I noticed there's water standing here by my 2,000 gallon cistern tank. So I thought, well, maybe I overfilled it accidentally, because I'll I'll put city water in it here to fill it up if my garden watering gets ahead of my water supply. So I checked and that's been off. I pulled the lid. Well, I checked my the gauge on it. The gauge says it's 30% full. I thought, well, something's not right there. The gauge must not be working. So I pulled the top. It's indeed 30% full. And I'm like, well, where's the water coming from? So I started looking around. I got to see where it's coming up. It's coming up right there. So that's on the pressure side of all my watering system that runs off this cistern tank. This little pipe here it's just a tool I use to turn on and off a valve. So there's a valve way down here, and I turned it off to isolate all the downline pipe, and the leak is still there. So it tells me it's between the tank and my valve. Something's fouled up there. So I'm going to get to dig this up and fix all that. There's my little tool. It reaches down and grabs that valve and I turn it. So I'm going to have to cut the breaker off, shut this off. And man, I don't have time to deal with this. So at least the ground will be soft. So it's going to be probably 3 foot down right there somewhere. The lines are going right into the side of this tank right here. Hopefully it won't be too hard to repair.